Okay, looks like it all works. Cool. So, yeah, I looked at the market earlier. I was in this area. This is the 15-minute chart on the MES. I didn't see any activity. I just put this line on now, in the last 30 minutes or so. It did go through it and break down, but I mean, you could identify this pre-market resistance. Sure enough, you would have caught something there. But the way I trade, nothing ever happened here because the way I do it is there's no line on the chart. Then after it breaks out with this momentum and that candle closes up there, lots of momentum, then I identify where did it break out from? What did it break out from anywhere? And this obviously comes to mind right here, this level, this pre-market high zone. So that's when I'd put this level here, is when that candle closed up there. And it never really got there. And even if it did, you can see how it did all that. It was a great big mess. This was the area. There's no way I would take part in this. So that level's there, but not useful for my style at the moment. And let's see, for now, I don't see anything. I don't see any momentum. 15-minute chart, all I'm doing is looking at momentum or looking for momentum. If I see that, then my eyes widen up and I'll start putting levels and start trading. This is the MNQ. Nothing really. Great big mess, huh? Wow. What have you guys been doing while I was not looking at the market? Did y'all trade all this? Go long, go short, go long, go short. This is your fault. You moved the market. Everyone in here.
I took a trade on MES, but it didn't take the level you just shown us as my key level, but the, I don't know, yesterday high or what this was on the 30-minute chart. And then it was a 6, yes, yeah, right here. And then the retest was okay, but the candle on the 1-minute chart was too big. I have to admit, in the end, it was a 6R trade with measured move. But yeah, maybe it was random that it worked out, but at least the setup was there and I traded according to the playbook. So
yeah,
okay.
Well, you did the right thing. The setup was there. You put on the risk with massive RVR, and that's it. That's all you can do. Nothing else. You can't control anything else. Whatever happens after that is, I like to say, is none of your business. So it worked out great. It'll work out half the time. The other half the time, it'll stop out. And then there's going to be about 30% of the time when you trade imperfect setups, and you're going to have to accept those losses too. So overall, your win rate's about 30-40%. And that's doing it well when you're doing it right. That's how it ends up. So good. You did it right. So cool. Yeah. Obvious level. You can use these previous highs. It works out. Really, that's all trading is, man. Just wait for your setup. Make sure you know what you're looking for, and then put it on, and you don't know what's going to happen after that. That's all there is. So here, MNQ, I don't see anything. There was momentum here. This was Friday. But so far today, I mean, this, even looking at it in hindsight now, I don't see anything. And I've got the oil futures. Yeah, well, I was watching this in this area. Here, look at this. When I saw it earlier in the morning, my time, it was doing this. It was having momentum up. Later, it was having momentum going down, but no setup for the way I like to trade. 15-minute chart, you can see there's moves, but really, where would you enter? How do you manage risk? I don't see anything here. I did watch this a little bit earlier and couldn't find anything, so I let it go. Left it alone. And now, more recently, it's been on the up. I have not been watching it in the last, 4 hours. Let's see, what do we have? Here's a good bit of momentum. You can see these white candles, 3 in a row. So when I see this, then I'm looking for where did that momentum begin? All right, here, and then did it break out of some specific obvious resistance? Yeah, this one here, that's a big one, but that's past. See, by the time this candle closes, that's when I would find a breakout level here. But that's only just one little candle. You can't go with that. The obvious one is sitting here. When that candle closed, then there may have been an opportunity. Maybe about, an hour ago? If I was here, I may have put this level on. Let's see if that would have worked. Yeah, it's in this zone. I don't think I would be trading this. See, it came up in here, did this big reverse hammer. Then I'd wait for a big breakout after that and come back and retest. It never did any of that. It's coming back now, but this is a very unstable activity. You can see massive momentum going up, chopping around, coming down fast. This is just not clean. It's moving, But I don't know how to manage risk on stuff like this. I'd rather not. This is just too messy. So leave this one alone, at least for now. And then gold. Same idea, really. Lots of momentum earlier today. So I would have probably picked up this resistance that broke through. It never came and retested. Continued momentum. You have this obvious resistance. Doesn't look like it didn't retest at all. Now, more recently, it's on the way down. So you can see going down. 3 candles here were all going down. So that's obvious support. And it broke through, but it broke right back into it just recently, last 15 minutes or so. So again, nothing here. Nothing to work with. So far, nothing the way I see things for me. What about you guys? Nina got a good one. Anyone else get some good stuff? Good or bad? Want to share? Winners or losers? Even losers are good trades, as long as you did your process right, you can walk away from it being satisfied, even if you take a loss, because you don't control that part of it. You do control your process, or rather, you control your execution of the process. And that's what matters. I see a very messy kind of market. Actually, a little bit dangerous because there are moves in it, but not clean, not reliable, not the way I like to do things. So the 15-minute chart has kept me away from the market so far today. And that's that. That's all I see. Let me know if there's anything on your minds, anything you want to talk about. We can talk about it.
Yes, Avi. In one of your recent videos, it was the heartbreak candlestick video. You said that at least you were talking about crude oil, and you said you find 4 to maybe even 5 trading opportunities per day. And I was like, okay, well, I am not quite there yet. And then I was thinking, because oil, other than MES or MEQ, doesn't make all-time highs at the moment, because it's been there before. How much room to the left do you consider as enough? Is it like 1 week, or does it depend on the situation? Do you eyeball it? Is this something that comes with experience?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think that's probably the most common question I've got in the last 3 years. Everyone asks, how much room to the left? Room to the left, but how much? It makes perfect sense. All right. The truth is I eyeball it. But you got to look at it in context. For now, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart, but really patterns are the same on all time frames. So just looking at candle patterns, if you look at it right now, where is the price? It's sitting right here, okay? You can see it had this resistance, and then it broke through it. Now it looks like it's come back, and it seems to be wanting to bounce off of that resistance in this zone right about here. All right, now where it is right now, if you were to enter long, put the stop below it, let's say below this candle, you would not do it if it was all choppy right here. See, there's empty space here, but if it was all chopped, there's no room to the left. But if you actually look at it where it is right now, this is actually an interesting area because, well, let me get the level on it. Where's that line here? This is a very, very interesting area because what you have is, right there. What you have is that it's a specific spot where, firstly, there's an interesting level which keeps turning. Look, it was support, breakout, then it turned to resistance, then breakout, and it's likely to turn into support again. So it's an interesting area that's being respected, and by respected, I mean the price is moving away from there every time it gets there. Look at this. First it bounced up, then it went through it. It got there, and it went away from it. Then it got right through it, and it looks like it wants to bounce off it. So price doesn't like to stay there. When the price doesn't like to stay there, well, obviously there's room to the left. It has not been there. Every time it gets there, it goes away from there. It doesn't like to be there. Put it that way. So that's room to the left. That's the way I think about room to the left. It's like the price is out of its comfort zone, so it doesn't want to be there. It's going to try and find a way to get out of there. Right? As long as it's doing that, there's room to the left. So just look to the left and see gaps on the chart. There's a decent little gap right here. And you can see it right here. It's not a chop zone. This is a chop zone. You can see right here. This is not where you want to trade. You can see overlapping candles, lots of wicks. This is a mess. You don't want this. There's no room to the left here. So you gotta, you can look at these things. Like up here, no room to the left here. If you're trying to enter short here, would you enter a short here? Would you enter it here? No way. I wouldn't enter anywhere here. I'd wait for the breakout, then go retest, and that's the short here. Like, if I put the line here, this was support. And up above this line, this is all junk. This is all chopped. There's no room to the left. There was nowhere I would enter the short. Wait for it to get out of this area. Then when look at what happens as soon as it breaks out of there, this big candle here, this bearish candle, there's room to the left on this area. It has not been here. Well, the last time it was here, it just moved through it. It didn't want to get stuck there. So it moved through. So then the trade entry would be the retest. If it happened, in this case, it did not happen.
Right.
And off you go short.
It could be that the area you just shown us, where there's plenty of room to the left and there is a white screen there, that there was chop, I don't know, a month ago or so, but this is like way too long ago, right? This is also what my question was aiming at, because when you zoom out, you might see something, but I mean,
I know what you mean. So let's look at that. I mean, here's the fun part. You can do the same kind of analysis on the monthly chart. So here's your monthly chart. Okay, same idea. Look at this. This is a chop zone. Again, if the price is coming in here, if the price is sitting in here right now, even after it made this move and it's to come back into this area, there's no room to the left, right? And even right now on the monthly chart, you can see it got there and it hasn't broken out. It's just been sitting there. What, 2.5 candles? It's just sitting there. There's no room to the left right now. If you're trading the monthly chart, there's no way I would take an entry anywhere here. Forget about it. There's no room to the left. Up here, if you're going here on this chart and if you identify a short, for example, up here, yeah, there's room to the left. Look at this. When was the last time it was here? And this is huge, right? All this empty space. There's a short there if you have a setup up there. So that's how I'm seeing it. You got to think about human beings and comfort zones and pushing out of their comfort zones. When human beings are in their comfort zones, they're like this, sitting on the couch, eating popcorn, watching movies, right? Comfort zone. The moment human beings go to the gym, they don't last very long. They'll get out of there in 30 minutes, 1 hour max. But Netflix goes on for 5 hours right here. You see? It's like that.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
That's how I think about it. Sure. So yeah, but that's a very important thing. Room to the left is one of the biggest things in my trading. It keeps me out of a lot of crappy positions, entering trades that would not have worked out and all that. It's amazing. Room to the left keeps me out of the market for a couple of weeks at a time sometimes. There's nothing to trade because the price is just happy to sit where it is. Like this is oil and looks like just on this 15-minute chart. This is the $100 mark right about here. Look at this. Yeah, it's just resistance for now. It was support earlier, this descending wedge. You can see the breakout. So you can see $100 is a very interesting price point. Something always happens there. You can see there's room to the left every time it gets there. It's there right now, or it was there, what, an hour ago, something like that. So just looking at charts like this is very, very simple stuff. Just look at it, room to the left. Easy enough. Yeah. Fun. So anyone else got any questions, complaints, concerns? You want to vent out about winning trades or losing trades? Now's your chance. What do we got here? Now, GN close to a few weeks consolidation. And hell, I can't understand what you've written here. It's like gibberish. It's a lot of alphabets. What is this? GN close to BO. I can't understand. Can anyone translate, please? Somebody, please. Let me know.
Out, perhaps. Breakout.
Breakout. Okay, BO stands for breakout. Okay, that makes sense. What's GN?
GN store north.
Gas. Okay, there you go. Gas. What kind of gas? Natural gas?
Natural.
Looking at natural gas. All right, that makes sense.
It should be NG.
Broke out. NG. Yes, thank you. I mean, I'm not exactly very multilingual. I get some different languages, but not too many. Natural gas. What is the ticker on that? MNG, I believe, was the micro, right? Yeah. So what are you saying? Broke out of consolidation a few weeks ago. You're looking at a weekly chart? Oh, where's the weekly chart? Oops, that's the monthly. Weekly chart. All right. What do we have? You're talking about a break to the downside a couple weeks ago. Yeah, fair enough. You can see that level. That was support. You had the lower highs and then the breakout. Now it's back up to it. Could be a retest, continue down. But I'm not really familiar with this natural gas market. I haven't traded it. I was watching it for a while, but never really got into it. Yeah, and hell, no worries. All good. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this with natural gas. I mean, you could probably trade it, but there are a lot easier ways to trade than looking at this. It's a little too exotic. Unless you have some sort of edge with this stuff. I mean, you have the MES and the MNQ, and you get plenty of opportunities with those. Why would you go looking at things that are a little too exotic? I mean, even oil, it's only because of the recent geopolitics in the last 3 months that it's been very tradable. But normally, it's not like this. When the world is at peace, oil is pretty stable. You don't trade it. You can't really day trade it. Gold is different. Gold, I think, is tradable. But oil is a new one. Anyways, this is natural gas on the 15-minute chart. I feel like it. Look at that hammer. That's another good example. If you had a level in this area, let's say, or an area of interest, you can see the very obvious naked trading setup. It came from up to down, put in this massive, perfect hammer, and the new high is your entry. Off you go. That's a perfect setup as naked trading goes. That's that reversal one, if you like reversals. Yeah, you had something like that over here. This is more of a continuation pattern. You can see the massive hammer right here as well. So look at the chart like this. Big consolidation. Then you have the big move, breakout and go. And then it starts to get into a consolidation again. See that going sideways? And during consolidation, then it put in this big hammer with room to the left on this. See this white space on the chart? There's no room to the left here. But 2 or 3 candles later, right here. Then after this hammer, the entry is a new high. Of course, if this is a key level and you're looking at a continuation setup, then you enter the new high and off you go. You're getting a piece of this. New high with the stop below the hammer. So it's very hard to trade these on bigger time frames, but on the 1-minute charts, you can take these entries. I've taken many of these. Yeah. I guess there are a few setups here and there, but I mean, I won't trade this stuff. There's no need. Vivek, you want to look at gold today? You're buying gold? You're storing gold? Burying it under your house? Yeah, we looked at gold. I didn't find a setup so far today on anything. Gold is one of them. This was the area of interest, momentum going up. And if I had identified the momentum in time, it would have been when this candle closed. You can see it's all just kind of sideways doing nothing. And then one great big candle. And then after that candle closed, I would have put the level here. That's the breakout, the most recent resistance, big breakout. But it never came to retest that area. I would have taken it long probably if it came and retested and go. Since that move, I don't see anything. A little bit of a bearish activity recently. You can see these 3 candles where the momentum started here. I mean, the sellers were here, but really momentum got going in this candle. And it got down there and it broke through support, which was this level right here. You can see it right there. But turned out to be a false breakout. It's back inside, so not the way I like to trade. A lot of people will trade the false breakout. They'll go long as it reclaims the level and go back into this area for a profit. But I don't do that anymore. So, yeah, I mean, there's ways to trade. All this stuff, put it this way, is tradable. Everything's tradable if you have a method of trading it. The method that I use for trading these days, I don't see any setups. So that's basically it. Oh yeah, and as you guys see, I have changed the colors to black and white. Very boring. It's like an old fax machine, dot matrix printer or whatever, back from the 80s, 70s, back then. For a good reason. I did this as well on the other platform I was using on NinjaTrader. What was that, about 4 months ago, 5 months ago? I finally got around to doing it here on this platform. And the reason I prefer this black and white color scheme is because it's less triggering. Ollie wrote it up very nicely in our channels. It's all the red and green and black and colorful stuff is just triggering. You may not even be aware of it, but subconsciously you get triggered. You get alerted when you see red. It's quite natural. And when you see green, it's more about go, take action. You know, that sort of subconscious trigger. I'm trying to just minimize all the triggers. Very simple. This is insanely boring watching it in black and white, which is perfect. Now I can be objective. I'm not getting emotionally triggered to take action on a stop out or put on a heavy size just because there's a big red candle or a big green candle or whatever. You know, it's just easier. It's just simpler. It's so simple. It's boring. It's like looking at a screenshot, but that's what I want. That's exactly how I want. That helps me be objective and really look at the setup and the pattern. And if it's there, I can see it cleanly. If it's not there, it's not there. You know, and I can make those decisions. So yeah, I like the setup. It just took me a few months to remember to put it back on, but it's nothing new. Did this some time ago. So I recommend it. If you guys are struggling with overtrading, revenge trading, too excited, too emotionally unstable, most of us are. And this is one of those little hacks you can put on. Just change the colors. Make it very easy. And of course, along with that, you know, naked trading, remove all the indicators. There's no indicator here. It's just candle patterns, price patterns. And then this is just a line that I put on the chart when I see an interesting point. That's it. So yeah, makes life very simple, very, very easy. So what do we have here? MES. Found some buyers, but again, this is no room to the left. There's nothing here. I don't see any setup. Again, I'm using naked trading patterns. I don't see anything. And that's good, as in 95% of the time you shouldn't be trading. You shouldn't be touching the market. So your strategy should be telling you that. And for me, it turns out today is one of those days. 95% of my days or 95% of my time in the market is like this, not touching it. My strategy tells me don't touch it. So simply don't touch it. Let it go and come back tomorrow. I don't think I'll be interested in anything else today. It's 9:30 p.m. here, so 9:30.
MSTR of it.
Sorry?
MSTR, the exotic MSTR.
MSTR, you're still trading all that stuff?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's take a look. What is there some sort of catalyst on this? Was this related to crypto? Is that right?
Yeah, that's a crypto thing.
Yeah.
But since it is actually on a daily chart, it is basically breaking a key resistance. I thought it's actually a pretty good one.
All right. Yeah, I see what you mean right there. You could yeah, put the line right about there. It's the high of a couple of days ago and a consolidation breakout happening today.
Yeah, and there's no resistance up until 232.
Yeah, further up. Well, here's the fun part. Looking above this resistance, lots of room to the left, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't been here in quite a while. Yeah. So this looks all right. It's consolidation and go. So that's a very good thing to look at. Look at, you know, there's only two phases in the market. It's either going sideways or it's going directional. So after it's sideways, it goes directional, and after directional, it goes sideways. That's kind of it. So it's been sideways here for the last couple of days, overlapping candles, and looks like it's going to a place where it's breaking out, basically room to the left. So we have the level. Let's look at the smaller time frame, 1 minute, see what that looked like today. Where are we? Let's zoom into this. What time did this breakout happen? Around noon, so an hour ago, hour and a half. So if you're catching these things on a 1 minute chart, it's a tricky one to catch. At least the way I trade, I wouldn't see it break and then retest. Retest never happened on this one. Also, the consolidation. If you look at this consolidation, it's, you know, I don't see a flat top. I see resistance. I see higher resistance. You know, you can see, let's put a line on it so you can get a clear picture. All this resistance seems to be moving upwards now. That level is all white here. Make it black. All right. You see that? This line, this is a 1 minute chart. Let's get rid of this level for now. You can see the resistance is here, then it's higher, and then it's even higher, and then it seems to want to go. You know, this, I like to see it as a flat top. If it keeps rejecting, or maybe one or two times, a perfect flat top, so it's consolidating below that flat top and then go, that's the way I would trade it. So I want to see that clean point of resistance and then breakout and retest of that. So for multiple reasons, I think this would be difficult to catch if you were watching it. I know if I was watching it, I wouldn't touch it. And this was the only genuine move in it, really, right about here, as it broke out of that high from a few days ago. What was that? That was here somewhere, something like this.
Yeah,
markets. Yeah, this is difficult to trade. I don't know why you look at this. Just leave it alone. This sort of thing, it's a real tragedy for everyone in the trading world, because it's this sort of former low float stuff. Now it's no longer low float, but low float pump and dump kind of schemes and scams. The whole trading world is built on this from 10 or 15 years ago, when the first few influencers showed up on the internet saying, "Watch me trade." And really, these guys would just really pump the stock, get everyone excited, develop a big following, and then they would say, "Okay, trade live with me," and they'd go live, and they'd say, "Okay, I'm buying this one now," and so 30 seconds later, their whole following buys the thing, and it's because the float is so small, the thing goes up, and then this guy dumps it on them. That's trading. The whole trading industry that's the foundation of it. And MSTR has that background. It's one of these tickers that came from that background. This sort of thing. You can see the behavior of the price pattern here. It's a joke. Don't look at it. So you want to be careful. So there's firstly, don't trade low floats, because there's a lot of scheming and scamming going around. And of course, when it comes to live trading, that's how live trading really started, with the first few guys doing it. I'm not going to tell you the names here, but you all know who they are. And it comes from that background, from that attitude, from that mindset, that their whole business is based on that. They're not really trading price action. It's pump and dump. It's amazing how it is. You just need 1,000 people to buy $500 worth each. That's enough to make it move, because the float is so small. The thing is like $5 million float or whatever. Thing goes from 50 cents to $3, and you can dump it on them. Those guys are still trying to buy it. You don't tell them you're selling until it's a little later. So yeah, MSTR again is one of those. And live trading, anyone who truly goes advertises live trading, that's a bit of a problem, because that's the whole foundation of live trading. So be careful with it. I don't like it either, because it also inspires the wrong ideas, where people who want to genuinely learn to trade, or just anyone really, not just people who genuinely want, but no, there are people who genuinely want to trade, and there's also people who think, I could just copy some trader and I'll make money. So it inspires copy trading a hell of a lot. Again, those guys come in with a get rich quick attitude and all that. And so if they come, a lot of people come in with that attitude. And so then there's these traders who sell, okay, live trading, come trade with me. Right? So these guys come in thinking, I'll just copy this guy and off I go. Of course, you know how that ends up. The only guy who makes money is the guy selling the subscription to this guy. That's it. That's how that really goes. So be careful. Be super careful. This industry is such a joke. The whole thing's a great big joke. So I strongly recommend trading together. That's excellent. Everyone's in the room together. There's not one guy to follow who's showing off his trading and getting everyone else to see, this is how I trade. This is how you must do things. You must follow my trades, and this is the education on it. Don't do that. Actually pay attention. Learn to trade. Questions and answers. Talk to each other. And then we all grow together and actually learn how to manage risk and learn how to manage our own personalities in these environments where we're putting our own money at risk. That's proper trading, real trading. Once you start doing that, oh man, everything becomes easier, really easy. You don't need to go get running around with these sorts of tickers, low floats, and what I call exotic stuff. It's not necessary. Again, I've been through that whole circus, so I suggest don't do it. I mean, there's so many easy things to trade. I mean, just MES if you don't want anything complicated. Just put this on. I can show you 20 different strategies right now on 4 different time frames if you want. You could have found 5 trades today if you like. But whatever strategy you pick, stick to it. And, realize that you're not going to get a setup every day. Like I don't get a setup every day. Today, nothing. So be sure you understand what you're doing. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to get the whole ring around again and get sold another subscription and another blown up account. And then you get sold a funded account. And that's another one. You guys know all this stuff. So, yeah, just be careful. So I don't even bother looking for watch lists or catalysts or anything. Just look at price action. Futures are very easy with price action. I wish I found them earlier. Much easier than options. And that's all you need. Really, even when you're a full-time trader, it's still less than a part-time job, as in the amount of time you spend trading. It's amazing. I gotta find things to do. Like, really. My trading takes 5 minutes a day. What am I doing all day?
This is really something that I can't comprehend yet. I still have my job, but my plan is to, of course, quit it at one point. And I'm slowly transforming into this trader lifestyle, because my approach is I want to have this lifestyle before, and then the results will come. And I told Martin the other day, I do not understand how much free time there is. I don't get it. It's crazy. And then also daring to use this free time for doing what you want, because years and years you've been told otherwise. Crazy.
Yes, that's it. It is crazy. It's very 80-20, right? We have to really counteract our instincts that were drilled into us. We were conditioned to work hard and all this stuff, and then when you just don't have to, you just open your screen, and within 30 seconds, you know there's no trade. You come back an hour later, then you look at it for 30 seconds. There is a trade done. Put it on, leave it alone, go away. That's your whole workday. What are you gonna do next?
Exactly.
You feel like you have to work, and then when you feel like you have to work, that causes another problem in trading. Then you make it too complicated. You get too cute about it. You start looking for watch lists and tickers and volume, and I don't even know what else. And then you end up in a pump and dump scheme, and then you're doing stupid stuff at that point, unnecessary things, just to satisfy your need to do something. It's a tough one. That's all the psychology stuff. That's tough. You got to get used to the lifestyle and the freedom. None of us are conditioned for freedom. We're conditioned for slavery, in modern culture and modern education. Freedom, well, nobody teaches that. So, but we need that. If we're going to trade, we need to understand freedom, absolute freedom, and the responsibility that goes with it, of course. So, yeah, well, that's where the hard work comes in. It's nothing about candlesticks. That's where the hard work comes in. Yeah, no, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, it was actually a note to Nina. It's just a recommendation. Never ever quit your job to become a full-time day trader. Never do that. I did this mistake. You don't do it. It would kill you.
I will do it the other way around. I will become a profitable trader, and then at one point I'm going to quit.
Never do that. I was a really good profitable trader. I was at time, and I quit my job, and I lost most of my capital just because of the level of stress that I had.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
You have your mortgage to pay, you have your bills, you have everything, and you have to make money. And
got you.
If you know that you have to make money, that doesn't allow you to trade freely. Never.
Everything.
It's a recommendation like a brother to you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks, Nasser, for sharing that. Yeah, again, with trading, you really need to be with a free mindset, the abundance mindset, the free mindset. So whatever it takes in your world and your circumstances to have that, do that. If that means keeping your job, then keep it. Really, nobody has to be a full-time. You could be making more money trading than your salary. That could be true, but you're still going to work because it keeps your head in the right place, at least. That abundance mindset, that multiple sources of income, all that stuff. Yeah, it makes sense. Then there's no one-size-fits-all for anyone. But if that's how you tend to function, then that's really good advice. Yeah, thanks, Nasser. That's a good one. So, stick to it. Stick with it.
At the moment, I'm pretty sure my job makes me a worse trader, for sure, with all the things in the head, like all this stuff. It's so boring. Like a lot to do, but boring. Oh, kills me.
Yeah. Oh, that kills me too. When there's inefficiency, that's a real problem for me. I don't like inefficiency. 80-20. Do the only single thing that actually has an impact. Everything else is garbage. So
yeah, and then you try to bring this forward, this very rational view in the meetings, and they're like, what? They don't understand you. They think you're unmotivated or so. But yeah, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about trading or something else.
No worries. It's funny. That's actually how Wall Street functions. All the fund managers and all that is very simple. I was just having this chat with someone 2 days ago. She was asking me about what to do with her money, how to invest it, and all this stuff. And basically, I was saying, you got to be careful with Wall Street and fund managers, because the way they function is really simple. They want to take your money, and whether you make money or not, they get their fee anyway, right? And they get an additional fee if they manage to add to your capital, increase your capital with their investments. That's the whole structure. But they need to convince you to give them your money. And they do that by spinning a web around you, complex terms and words, and the market is this and that, and it's a very exclusive thing to learn. Only people on Wall Street know the insides of how price action works, so let us invest your money for you. You don't know what you're doing. You're busy in your work. We'll take care of it for you. They'll just spin it. And the truth is, they're doing nothing but buying what everyone else is buying and selling it when everyone else is selling it. And really, you actually end up losing money, because that's not how you make money anyway. Most hedge funds shut down in a few years. Now, very few of them last more than 5 years. Very few. Look at the stats, look at the numbers, look at all the people who invested in it. Most people make more money just buying the S&P. Most working people, rather than getting cute about investing or using a fund manager. The other way to do is, of course, educate yourself and then use your own risk management and do all that. Now, that's what I do. That's what I spend my time doing when I'm not trading, managing the capital. But, of course, not managing anyone else's money. I don't want to do that. But that's what happens with the fund world. So be careful. And again, the same thing in the trading world we just discussed. It was these guys will sell you all kinds of subscriptions and courses and whatever. You guys know all this stuff. Really, it's not that complicated. It's really not. They just make it sound complicated. It's called sales. That's all it is, really. Just everyone's a used car salesman on Wall Street, and in the trading world on the internet, which is a real big disease in the last few years. So just don't get caught up in that. Manage your own risk. Everyone has different risk tolerance. Everyone has different life circumstances. So it's always a unique situation. You got to be self-aware of those things. And of course, we have groups where we can talk about stuff like this. But in the end, you decide where to click the button and when to click the button. It's your money on the line, right? That's important. Meanwhile, this is probably the most boring price action on the most boring color scheme I've ever seen. Where's my gun? I'm going to shoot myself. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Anyone got anything fun to talk about? Any questions you may have about trading or anything else? We can discuss it, since there isn't really much to talk about with live action, live trading. I don't see any opportunities anywhere. This one started going down, but it's kind of hard to trade oil at the moment.
The time before you became a profitable trader, Avi, and then a full-time, or it's not even part-time, but you know what I mean, trader. How was that? Because for me, it's like a total mess, but I've gotten used to the mess and I'm working towards the goal. But how was it for you?
Mess, I'm sorry, I didn't get the whole question. You were saying, how was the transition to becoming a profitable trader?
Yes,
right.
Exactly. Because I know you've been working on a job too. And then did you do it like in parallel, like I'm doing now? And I said, for me now, it's like a total mess, but I've gotten used to it and I'm finding my way working towards the goal. But how was it for you?
Yeah. So it's the same concept we discussed earlier. I definitely made sure that I had something else outside of trading that I can rely on. So trading was not the income. I just, okay, one day I decided I'm going to become a trader and I drop everything else and then I start trading. No, I didn't have that. I didn't do that. So, and I actually don't think I've still done that. I mean, now all my income comes from trading anyway. So, but I do have capital going through investments and all that. So there is all that. If I don't trade for 2 years now, for example, it's not going to bother me. So that's always good to have, for sure. Either some sort of massive investment or savings, or a job that's giving you income, or some business that gives you income, whatever, something. I think that's really important. But the fun one, I think the more interesting one is people talk about becoming a profitable trader. I get that. I get the wording, but really I don't like it very much. I think more of it as a confident trader. So you're trading and you're really uncertain what you're doing, especially in the first few years. You're following all these internet guys and you think this is the next magic indicator or strategy or whatever. You go through all that stuff. I did that for about 3 years, I think. And doing all that, you guys know the story. You're never going to make money doing that. Following the next guy or buying the next magic tool, the heat map, or whatever scam there is. None of that's going to work. It's only when I decided to drop all the things that are popularized and all the money that I wasted buying courses and subscriptions and all that stuff. I just decided, okay, I'm just going to drop all that from my head, from my screens, from everything. And I'm just going to just look at it and see what makes sense to me. It turns out naked trading makes sense to me. And I happened to find a book that was all written on it. And so, I started naked trading and then I found a book written on it. So I refined my style and now we're here. But that's when the confidence came in my trading. And that came from me starting to trade based on my own belief of how price goes up and down and when it goes up and down. Rather than some guy selling me, you got to buy this heat map thing and therefore now the price is going to go up to that point. Or someone saying this VWAP thing and now the price from there, it has to go down from there because it's VWAP. It never aligned. I never aligned with it, never aligned with me. So it's only when I decided to use independent thinking that I started to find more confidence in my results. As in, I found better results, and therefore I got more confident with my trading. And then that just becomes a flywheel. With more results, you get more confidence. You can put it on more aggressively. You can add into it slowly. You can scale up the risk as well. All that stuff and all that whole flywheel for me just went through the roof so fast to the point where the market just wasn't big enough. The options market got too small. I had a belief in options. I didn't believe in buying equities and all that. My genuine independent thinking took me straight to the options market at the time. And now it's brought me to the futures market. But it really is. Once you get into that flywheel, it's wild. It goes crazy. It goes fast. It was for me, it was 23 up until now. So 2023 up until now, where it's just been just a straight rocket ship to the moon, really. But it's 100% based on independent thinking. I don't give a crap if anyone out there, the guy who's made $1 billion trading, tells me that that's not the way to do it. I'll tell him, okay, thank you very much, and I'll carry on doing what I'm doing. That's it. Because this just works for me, and it works with the way my mind works. So it's 100% something I've created, and I've taken influences from other places, little bits at a time here and there, and created something that works. So, but at the same time, I cannot tell you that this is going to work for you, because because you're not me. Your mind is different. Everyone's mind is different. Everyone has two different sets of eyes to look at candles and price and everything. So use your own independent thinking. We have, again, an environment here where we can bounce ideas off each other and help each other psychologically and with strategy and all these things. But in the end, you've really got to ask yourself, what do you believe? Why does the price move? When does it move? What do you think? Ask that to yourself and kind of write down a thesis, and then go play with it without risk. As in just look at price action, look at past price action, look at screenshots, then start, with that in the sim. And then, if you have something like I have, which is I believe in the 80-20 principle, so it's all about efficiency and even capital efficiency, then it makes no sense to go trade something like Tesla or Nvidia or any of those things. It goes straight to the derivatives market, the leverage market, which is options and futures. And futures are even better than options because the price action is a lot easier. And turns out there's more leverage with most brokers. So that's the way you build out your trading. But to do all that, it's scary. So that's why it's important to have a support system, which is what this group is all about, 100%. This is not a group of live trading and here, I'll trade and you copy my trades. That's rubbish. If you try copying my trades, I'll kick you out right now. That's it. Not because they're my trades, but because it's not good for you, and that's really not something we want to do. But it's all about having a good, solid support system and high-quality people we can trust and share ideas off of, and even share dark moments with. When we're struggling times, and I've struggled plenty. You guys have seen it, and I come in here all the time, talk to you guys about it. So really, that's the journey of trading. That's where you really grow. And the truth is 95% of people are not willing to go through this journey. They just want to follow some trader in their live trading room and copy trades. I just told you how that ends up. No fun. So, yeah, think of it that way. You really need to think of it in an independent kind of way. There's no magic formula. There's absolutely none. And certainly don't read too many books. Please don't. Most of these books out there are written by people who've never traded, or books on trading psychology. These guys have never lost $1 million in the market, know what that is, and they bounce back from that. These guys have not done that. They barely put $100 of risk on, and they write a book on psychology, and they got some social media following, so it's called bestseller on Amazon. What a joke. Really? What a freaking joke. No. So these are the things to be aware of. Do it the right way. Nothing good comes easy. You all know that. So yeah, good stuff. Thanks for the question, Nina. That's a good one. Everyone know what to do now? Yeah? Go introspect, meditate on top of a mountain or on a beach someplace, and turn your candles into black and white candlesticks, and you'll be fine. That's it. That's all there is.
Black and white was a really good tip. I actually tried it the minute you said, and it feels really good actually.
Yeah.
MSTR, but you don't get panic as soon as you see a red candle.
There you go. There you go, guys. Real-time psychology at work. You see, it's all about the triggers that hit your senses. The sounds, the sights, the smells, all those are triggers. With the charts here, we're using sight. Well done. There you go, Nasser. Awesome. I love it.
I give you 5 stars on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, it's all about triggers, guys. It really is. If you remove triggers, you're removing 90% of your problems. And then already your trading's better. And I like the way you said that now. So you don't feel triggered. It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional experience. You just don't feel it. It's not there anymore. That's great. Now you can use your head. Use your brain. But you gotta have access to your brain first. If you're triggered all the time, you don't have access to your own brain. That's the problem. What do we have? Oil move down, but nothing. Wow, this is so wonderfully boring. There's nothing to look at here. Oh my gosh. There you go. You had the S&P breakout and came back in, breakout of the previous high. This is messy.
Avi, I've got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Martin.
You recommended to me to trade only the two. What's the name for it? I always say equity stock, but it's a future.
They're two different things. Futures and stocks are two different things.
Yeah, I know. But what's the term?
Futures. What we're looking at here are futures contracts.
Futures contract. Okay.
Yeah.
The MNQ and the
MES.
MES, right?
Yeah.
What would be the next step to add in, because it doesn't make sense, at least in my understanding, that you only trade these two, because there are more, but you recommended them to me because they move very nicely, I'd say. I put it this way. How would you go on if this is, I don't know, stable? What ticker would you do, or what would you recommend to me?
Well, sounds like you're not satisfied with the amount of opportunities coming your way with these two tickers.
Exactly, but I'm okay with this. Yeah. Haven't traded for days sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's a good sign that you're not trading for a few days. That's called preserving your capital, not just throwing it away, which is what most people do. So if you really want to look at another one, the other one that makes sense to me is gold, right here.
Okay.
As futures contracts, just something you can always look at. And, maybe 3 days in a week, it may move. Maybe sometimes it won't move for 2 weeks at a time, But the way I see it, gold is fine. I just got oil here because recently that's been working with the geopolitics, but most of the time that's completely useless. You can't really trade it. So MES, MNQ, and gold. And here's the thing, I do recommend having minimum tickers to look at so you don't get lost and confused and you're looking at 8 different things and you'll see different setups in different places, and then there are different things that behave differently. Like you can trade futures on the forex market, and the forex is a totally different ballgame. Forex basically always plays in a range. All the bankers are just buying and selling currencies all the time. You can put that on and expect to read candlesticks the way you do on MES, but it's not gonna work out. So different tickers, different behaviors. If you look at low float stuff, they're completely different kind of behavior, just because of floats like that, big spreads, all that stuff. So as far as trading is concerned, and the way most of us in this group are at least doing it, or the way I like to see it, is to have an opportunity to capture massive moves like 10, 20 R kind of trades, at least 3 or 4 times a week. All you need is MES and MNQ. Probably just MES, even if you want to narrow it down, just one thing. And you'll still be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, don't need to overcomplicate it. I've been exploring this whole futures market for the last 6 months or so, and I've landed at this. You really don't need much. And even before this, in 2024 and 2025, you saw I was only trading SPY options, nothing else. And that was because of the liquidity issue, because there just wasn't enough liquidity in any other options out there. Eventually, there wasn't even enough in the SPY. But at least, even when I did trade just that one ticker, there were so many opportunities. Every day I'd find something without too much fuss, with the style I was using at the time. So I really don't think it's a matter of looking around for more tickers. I don't think so. I think if you're not getting a setup for a couple of weeks, that's a good thing. You're building your resilience and your patience. You need that, because you really need to know when not to trade. And it's really good practice not to trade. Just show up and watch it and watch it and watch it. And no matter how bored and frustrated you get, your setup is still not there, and you're still able to perceive it as your setup is still not there. That's a tough one. A lot of people get frustrated and just bored and take a trade. Now you're not going to make it as a trader if you're taking trades out of boredom. You're gonna blow it up completely.
Yeah, absolutely. The last weeks were very insightful for me because, like you recommended, only looking at MES and MNQ, and when there's no setup, okay, fine.
Yeah, no big deal. Let it go. Let it go. And then when you get setups, you'll find, let's say, 10 setups in the space of 2 weeks, 1 week even. And out of 10, let's say you take all 10, you'll stop out, and on 5 of them, 2 more, you'll stop out at break even. 3 will actually hit the target. And that's it. That's a huge month already, because they're all beyond 10R. The 15, 20R category kind of trades. And with futures, that's what's available with minimum capital too. So it's really fascinating what's available, what's possible. But you gotta stick through the process, stick with the process. Don't trade when your setup's not there. Don't force it. Whatever you need to do to remove those triggers, remove it. Whether it's being influenced by, again, social media stuff, or changing colors on your charts, or whatever. Remove whatever triggers that you have that push you into trades when you shouldn't be. And that's very important. One of my favorite things is to get the hell out of the house, have plenty of active hobbies. I don't even look at the phone, like going surfing. I leave the phone in the car and I'm out in the water. I can't look at the charts. Out in the water surfing for 5 hours, look at anything. Perfect. Keeps me away from the market. And something that you enjoy, that you are actually going to do it for 5 hours, not something that you're doing because you're forced to do it, something you enjoy to do. So that's the way I do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Cool. What else is on your minds, guys? Couple of minutes to 10 p.m. over here. I think that's when I'll call it a night. Get some sleep and catch the sunrise. Everyone else good? You know what you're doing? Anything you'd like to discuss? You guys look like you're just fine. Best thing to do when you're bored, when you actually are looking at the charts and you're bored, do this. Get into a conversation. in our rooms here, in our groups here. It's perfect. This is one thing that keeps me out of crappy trades when I'm online. Whenever I'm on the computer, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm online. Let's talk. That's it. So just do that. These rooms are open all the time, so you can always come in here. And our Discord rooms, all of them are open. You can always announce it when you want to come in. If I see it, I'll come, and whoever sees it can go in. It's always there. All right, guys, this has been fun. I'll end this session now. And we'll come back tomorrow and let's see what the market gives us, if there's anything worth trading. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Always a pleasure. Always good fun. I'll talk to you all soon.
Avi. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Avi. Bye bye. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.